It's 8 o'clock. It's 8-ish.
8-ish?
Yeah. Hey there.
Hi.
Welcome to Hometown East Tennessee. Sorry, the microphone's out of position because we had a little
Explosion.
It was a minor explosion. There's still plenty of the compound left. You know, it goes
Most
on
of
for a
it's
really
left.
long way, but a lot of it's a smoking ruin.
Sadly.
That's the way it works. How you doing, Hometown East Tennessee? I'm Shannon,
I'm Bailey.
and we're going to bring you what's going on in Johnson City. Now, let me qualify. We're going to bring you what we think is interesting in Johnson City.
Yes.
You know, not gonna pretend that we're going to bring you the complete list of everything happening in town. Although, if patrons eventually are good to us, that's
Yep.
not out of the question that we create a website
That's right.
based on local events, and we put stuff that's coming up on it. But
Mhm.
we're not there yet. Right now, it's just us talking, and YouTube, and you, and really, what else do we need?
Nothing. We all have each other.
Right. You have a unicorn.
I do, because I am a unicorn.
You certainly are a unicorn. And I am obviously just some hipster.
Yeah, that's exactly what he is.
Yeah.
He was putting beard oil in his beard before I got here.
Well,
I was like,
it wasn't so much beard oil as hot pepper mixed with bees.
that's just bees?
Yeah, just bees. Hot oil and bees.
Hot oil and bees.
Yeah.
There you go, hipsters. That's how you take care of your...
Probably make more sense if I dressed like a lumberjack. But hipster it is.
Hipster it is.
Did you do anything locally this week?
Not this week, but last week, I went to Hot Springs for a wedding. Hot Springs,
that's
North
right.
Carolina.
That's right. If you remember last week, the miracle episode, as
The
we
miracle
called it.
episode.
We pulled off an episode.
Barely.
It ended up being our longest episode by 2 minutes.
Oh,
Just by 2 minutes, though. I thought, this is
Well,
going way too long. And then
you
I'm
know.
like, oh, we've talked more than this before. But we went over and we talked to Kat Latham,
yeah.
Johnson City Brewing, and you all had a great conversation, which is now lost to the ages, about your trip to Hot Springs. Now, you went there for a wedding, right?
Yes, I went there for Stephen and Stephanie's wedding.
A couple of our longtime viewers, they've been
Yep.
watching us since the beginning.
And they're not here tonight
That's
because
all right.
they had an event. But yeah, longtime friends and viewers. And anyway, so we have mentioned before that Hot Springs really, I mean, West North Carolina is part of East Tennessee.
At least for our purposes.
For our purposes.
You know, we're not just going by geography and,
Right.
and what the map says. To Asheville and Johnson City have been
Yeah.
in orbit
Well-
forever, but since they built 26, since they
Oh, yeah.
perfected 26,
Yeah.
the world has changed.
I mean, really, it's an hour drive.
Yeah.
And Hot Springs is like an hour, 20 minutes.
And so that's
or
brought
something.
all of Western North Carolina kind of
Yeah.
into our world, and so we can't
Yeah.
ignore Western North Carolina when
And
we're
why would
talking
you
about
want
local
to?
events. Yeah, especially since they have such imaginative stuff. They have such a
Yeah.
tourism business over in Western North Carolina. And Hot Springs, a little sleepy town.
Yeah.
I mean, you drive
Teeny.
through the woods to get to Hot Springs.
Oh, yeah,
and
it's-
suddenly you're just in a tiny little town.
Yeah, you do like hairpin turns. You know, you think if I break down here, am I gonna be okay? How long am I gonna be stuck here? But then, yeah, you come to this sleepy little town that's literally, you walk 2 seconds and you've gone through the town.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
you've got the Hot Springs and then a couple things, and then you're out of town again.
Yeah, I mean, it's they've got camping, and the hot springs, should say, are actual hot springs.
Which is refreshing, a town actually containing something it's
Yes.
named for.
Weird, right? So I went for the first time. I'd heard about it a lot. A lot of people had said how wonderful it was, and I stayed at the Laughing Heart Lodge. And the Laughing Heart Lodge was fantastic, and the little town was fantastic too. It was really, it was perfect for like maybe a 2 or 3 day weekend.
Yeah, it's no cell service up there for me
No,
at
barely,
least.
no.
I have AT&T, and
Yeah.
there were a couple little spots if I drove 20 minutes away, I could get it if I really needed
Yeah.
it. But to me, that was one of the best things about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's really the way I thought of it. It's a perfect place to go soak in a jacuzzi. You can take your own drinks and food, and it's perfect to do that. Then go back to wherever you're staying and like read by the river or have a beer at one of the local establishments. Like it's a good place that if you want to get away, go there.
And the hot springs are big
Nice.
kettles, right? I mean,
Well, like-
they put you in a kettle, and boil you with carrots and
yeah, it's
and garlic
real
and potatoes.
weird. And then they come in like with knives. It's very odd. I thought it was part of the experience.
Do I really need pepper on me for this?
Yeah, it's good for the skin.
Yeah,
You don't know
definitely.
that. I will say they give you a 5-minute warning, but it's not a 5-minute warning. It's like knock, knock, knock. You've got 5 minutes, and then your jacuzzi. It's basically a jacuzzi. Just starts draining. So they're not even. They're like.
So that's not get ready to get out.
No. It's get out.
You're done.
Get out, get dressed, get your stuff. I mean, the good thing is you know that the water is
fresh. That's my problem with hot tubs. I'm not going to go any further, but if it's a friend's hot tub, unless I know the friend too well, all right. But public hot tubs.
Well, it's a tricky line, you know.
But hot springs, they drain it every time.
Yeah.
It's always that water is coming from the springs. So it's the real deal.
It's just a cool place. I
awesome.
liked it. I couldn't stay there longer than 3 days.
Yeah, I was there for about a weekend with some friends. We got an Airbnb about.
Nice.
We were half an hour beyond hot springs on a cliff, and we spent a weekend in the picture of the rustic hunting cabin. Oh, thank you. That'll all come out in post.
Sorry.
That'll all come out in post. A little rustic hunting, fishing cabin loft, and really rough, but it was great. I mean, really loved it. We had a fire pit in the works, but I was glad to get back to civilization.
It is a good place that if you want to get away from things.
I'm not going to talk about it this week, but next week we're doing our Supernatural Halloween show. I do have, we talked a little last week. If you've joined us, DJ Ray's in the chat room.
Hey, DJ Ray.
Hey, DJ Ray, it's good to see you. Last week, I think we kind of established I am a skeptic.
Yeah.
But I am only a skeptic. I am looking for someone to prove to me that this wondrous stuff exists, and I will be happier than they are if somebody proves to me, because that would be awesome. I'm kind of the Scully.
Yeah.
I'm open-minded, but if you're going to show me something that has an obviously rational explanation...
Does that make me the Mulder?
I'm afraid so. Mulder would wear exactly that unicorn pajamas.
I think he'd look pretty good in it.
Yeah, he could rock anything.
David Duchovny can do anything.
Sorry, I drifted away. Anyhow, I don't believe necessarily in that stuff. I'm skeptical of that stuff. I had an experience there that cannot be explained. It's an actual... what do they call it? Xenobiological thing. I saw something that couldn't be explained, and I was driving, and I turned to the person next to me, and I was like, do not explain what this was. I said, did you just see something? And she described exactly, to the detail, exactly what I saw, which is impossible. Yeah, it is absolutely impossible. I'm sorry. I
cannot
totally
wait
digress.
till next week now.
Yeah, next week is going to be fun. Yeah. We'll tell some ghost stories. I know a lot of local stuff.
Oh, is it next week?
Is it next week? Let's check.
It
might be 2 weeks.
It might be 2 weeks.
I don't even know what day it is.
Although we could string along some ghost stories.
We got 2 weeks. It'll be the 26th will be the...
Is our super spooky, where we will be dressed in our actual Halloween costumes. Yeah. These are just runner-up.
Next week we'll do another more. We'll ramp up to it.
Yeah. I might come as a giraffe next week.
I might come as a lumberjack next week.
A lumberjack? Yeah. That's a lot different than a hipster.
Totally different costume. Yeah. It'll look just like this, but it's totally different.
Well, I'll come back in this, and I'll be Yolandi Visser.
There you go.
Wake up, ninja!
I'll take a marker, put tattoos all over me.
Perfect!
Say fook too much. And we'll be D'Antwoord next week.
That would be amazing. You could totally pull off ninja.
I can definitely rap as well as he can.
I could do some Yolandi raps.
I didn't do a thing last weekend. I'm getting ready to go back on the road for my announcing. So this weekend I'm in Chattanooga, and last weekend that was my last weekend at home for a couple weeks. So I stayed around the apartment. I fixed things up. I added lights and stuff that I've been putting on for a long time, and lots of cool stuff happened around me. But I'm afraid I just didn't get out of the house very much. I ate at that Tri-City seafood place I recommended once.
Not as good the second time.
I'm just saying it tasted a lot like a microwave, but don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But What else have I done? I haven't tried any place new. I've just been in a rut. It's terrible where I've been.
I almost today tried the Munchie Machine.
Oh, I did eat at the Munchie Machine this week. I try to eat there once a week.
I did not get there.
Tim and Chrissy are just awesome. I told you their son does a YouTube channel.
No.
Yeah, he's 8 years old.
Oh, that's amazing.
He's 8 years old and he has his own YouTube channel.
Does he have sponsors?
I want to talk to I want to talk. We need to go down and just record. Now that we know that we can record, we need to go down after they close, or maybe catch them on a slow day. It'd be more. It's as much fun watching Tim in the kitchen as it is just talking to him. But go talk to Tim and Chrissy because they're characters. They finish each other's sentences and talk simultaneously, one in each ear. So it's like, I don't know what I'm listening to. Just one's telling one side of the story, the other's telling the other side of the story, and they're totally disagreeing.
Like a normal couple.
They're a married couple, but they're awesome. They're some really good folks.
And they make great food.
Oh, their food is so good. The bird. Trust me on this.
No, I'll get there.
The bird.
I'll get there. I ended up eating at Sabores today.
Oh, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I know. And I had tomato bisque. It was fabulous.
I did eat at Sabores last week. I forgot. My friend came into town, and we did go down to Sabores again. I had
so good.
another of the Troppy Choppies.
Troppy Choppy. Oh, speaking of restaurants, we have been asked to do like a top 10 restaurant thing, which we will do soon.
Absolutely. Let's wait till November.
Yeah, we'll wait till November. We'll get Halloween out of the way.
You got some changes coming up in November. Life has been good to me, so we're going to be making some upgrades and doing maybe a little bit more out of the studio stuff because we can. It'll take a while. It's going to be a progression.
Yeah, well, I mean, really what's going to happen is in a few months, we'll look at the first episode and go, oh.
Yeah, that's the way it always works.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it works. Go watch your favorite YouTube channel, their very first video. You'll cringe too.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think we've become what we're going to end up. So
no.
If you've been hanging out with us since the beginning, we really appreciate you because it's what keeps us going. Having somebody like DJ Ray, hi guys, in the chat room. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
Where are the other two of you at?
Yeah, being quiet.
That's all right. Enjoy the show. If you're watching this after the fact, if you're listening after the fact, thank you. If you're listening to the podcast, we have at least consistently 4 listeners on our podcast, and that's just playing off of the SoundCloud page. I actually haven't checked the iTunes side of things, but just playing off SoundCloud, there are 4 people that seem to go back on a regular basis. They've subscribed. Thank you for listening. I know that we sometimes go visual and we talking about look at this. If you could see Bailey right now in her little unicorn onesie,
it's adorable.
You'd start watching the YouTube live every week. I'm just saying.
And hey, if we get Patreon users, I could just get a onesie for every week.
Oh yeah,
come as a badger.
If we can get like 10 Patreon users, I will get the badger costume.
Oh yeah, he'll get a badger. I wonder if there's a wizard.
Oh, I wish there was a wizard.
I wish there was an Ernie.
I need a blue robe. You see, if I'm just going to say this and we'll move on with the rest of the show. If you're a fan of the podcast, welcome to the Magic Tavern. Since the first episode, we've managed to drop at least one reference to that podcast in every episode. So now you know. Welcome to episode 11. Yeah. You can go back and listen to everything again and pick out all of the Welcome to the Magic Tavern.
Hello from the Magic Tavern.
I'm sorry, hello from the Magic Tavern.
It's okay.
No, I've been doing that since the first time I listened to it, calling it by the wrong name.
Well, I used to call it Hello from the Vermilion Minotaur.
Oh, I can see that. It's a little more accurate.
Not the name, yeah, but...
but it's a great podcast. Check it out in your own time. Yeah. It's truly one of the funniest things I've heard on podcast.
It's marvelous. So should we talk about what we're drinking?
Let's talk about what we're drinking and what we're wearing.
All right. Yeah, what we're wearing and drinking. So tonight we had a drink sponsor. Chris Dyer.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris. A friend of mine, you've met him.
Yeah, I met him. Very nice guy. He came up and was like, I really like your show.
He's super nice.
Who paid you? What are you? Are you with the government? That was my reaction.
Maybe. He got us a few things, but he got us some Studio Brew beer. This is the Pilsner, and this is empty.
Actually, that doesn't do it. Just a second here. He got us some Studio Brew beer. Oh, there's some more. So, basically, he owns the show now.
Yeah. I mean,
until the six packs
until the
run
next
out.
person buys us 3
Right.
packs. So, yeah, he got us some awesome Studio Brew, which is a local brewery.
This is good. What was this?
Bristol.
Oh, you're drinking.
I'm drinking the Das Pilsner,
I'm having.
the Mischievous Solstice.
The Mischievous Solstice was mischievous because when I popped it open, I left it sitting here, and it started just erupting.
Yeah.
It just started spewing. Slowly spewing head all over the place.
Wouldn't stop.
Bubbles. And I was like, oh, all right. So I poured it into a glass, my Hamburglar glass, and no problem. Bailey opens hers.
I opened mine.
We're talking
Oh my god.
4 minutes to airtime. It is 4 minutes till 8.
I'm just popping a beer open. Getting ready.
Boosh!
Yeah, everywhere. Like
Everywhere.
my unicorn suit is wet. The floor was wet. I think I maybe got half of the beer. It is tasty.
It's really good.
It's very good. Just very
Foamy.
very foamy. Very what's the word? Eruption-y. It's very
Eruption-y. That's a much
eruption-y.
better word than foamy.
I think so. And I'm the writer,
Right.
so I can
I
make
always
up words.
defer.
It's a word. Don't look it up. It's a word. Chris Dyer, he is a great guy. If you need a mortgage loan, you should check him out. He's
right
a
on.
straight shooter. He's a really nice guy, good guy. And you can go to www.chrisdyerloans.com, and that's CHRISDYER loans.com.
Really nice guy.
Yeah, super nice guy. Go get your mortgage loans from him. He's a good guy.
And we don't say that just because he bought us a whole bunch of beer, although it helps.
It does help. It does help. But he is a legit nice guy.
Yeah, really. Thank you, Chris. We really
Yes.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
Especially your support, coming up to me at a public function and saying I like your show. I immediately was, Bailey, someone recognized us. She's like, oh, I know him. It counts. It counts.
It counts. Totally counts. Well, you knew DJ Ray.
That's right.
But I didn't when he came up to me in the street.
Yeah,
So-
but DJ Ray coming up to you in the street's a little different. Oh, hello, I'm DJ Ray. The master will not be pleased. I love
Do
you,
you
DJ
hear
Ray. It's amazing anybody keeps watching.
I know that's why the other two aren't talking in the
That's
chat
it.
room. They're like, we don't want them to know who
Well,
we are.
DJ Ray's
We'll make fun
special,
of them.
though. Because when DJ Ray and we work together all the time. He does the audio for the Blue Ridge Roller Girls. And every chance I get, whenever I'm hired for a gig, and they're like, well, we don't know who to hire for a DJ. I'm like, DJ Ray. I know that his equipment's top notch. He's a good, conscientious guy. He'll do you right at djraysoundsystems.com, or I don't even know if he has a .com, but DJ Ray Sound System. I can always trust DJ Ray, and we don't let him on the microphone because the entire time that I'm talking, and I'm on a microphone, and then nobody can hear me because it's just me and DJ Ray up there, and he is just whispering the most wrong, tasteless jokes in my ear. He's making fun of people, and I'm like, I can't laugh at this because I'm a professional.
That's right.
And that's DJ Ray. Frothy DJ Ray.
No, it is eruption-y.
It's Eruption-y DJ Ray.
It's a word.
Get with the program.
Get with program.
Eruption-y.
Eruption-y.
That might be the episode name. We never know.
Eruption-y. Yeah.
If y'all have any ideas
We'll see
for the
what happens.
episode name, just throw it out in the chat room.
Yeah.
We'll consider it. Bailey always gets final say over the episode names unless 3 or 4 days have gone by and she hasn't come up with one. And I make up one.
Well, there was Miracle.
No, there's only one like that.
Yeah, and it wasn't because you said it was just going
That's
to be
true.
Miracle, the Miracle episode.
No, you're right. You're right.
So
It was a miracle that episode existed at
that
all.
was amazing. It feels nice and secure to be here in the
Yes.
studio.
But we can't get too secure. We will be
No.
going out more later though, because it takes for me,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of work and a lot of coordination, and lately I haven't been able to take care of our guests in advance like I want to.
Yeah.
I mean, Kat was fine. She had been
Yeah.
with us before, but I want to make sure that I give our guests the consideration they need. So
Yeah.
I would rather just stay in the studio, talk a little bit, go out and
Yeah.
make some special occasions until we're in a better place equipment-wise
Yeah.
to do it. And once we do that, this is where I point out I have nearly 30 years of production experience,
No.
and I can make some wonderful stuff with the right equipment.
Well,
But
Yeah.
And that takes us to Patreon. You can sign up for our Patreon at patreon.com/hometown. $1 is fantastic.
Yeah.
If you pledge $1, just $1, what that means is, now it's going to take out more than $1 a month. It's going to take out $1 an episode, but we only do 2 episodes a week max. And like last week, we only did 1 episode, so we only took out $1.
Yeah.
But we'll do 2 episodes a week tops. So that's in a 4-week month. That's going to be $8 that you've given to the show. And that really, you don't understand how much that $8 helps.
Yeah.
I spent just a little more than $8 today buying batteries for our new light. I don't know if you can see it, but we have a brand new light here. There, let me cover up Bailey. Let me turn off the light there. But we have a new light that was not from Patreon.
No.
It was one that I've been looking for since we started, but luckily we have it, so now I don't have to worry about investing money in that. We can take this light with us whenever we travel.
Tripod.
Yeah, it's much better than the lamp that I've been carrying.
Yes.
And it's battery powered. So now we have a little, that's one more option we have.
Exactly.
And we appreciate any help you can get. There's also, if you just want to help us out every now and again, paypal.me/hometownjc. And that's the last I'm going to ask for money this episode. I promise you.
Yeah.
Maybe one more at the end. People listening are like, what was that?
I know. They're why did you all get silent?
That was the sound of a wink.
Backed by another wink.
DJ Ray. I have that on DVD. Yeah.
What do you have on DVD?
If it was 80s erotica, DJ Ray has it on DVD. I guarantee you.
Well, who didn't?
Moving on. Hello, puppy. Verbal is making his appearance.
Verbal is here.
You guys probably can't see
It's
Verbal.
too bad Verbal isn't verbal, so that our audio listeners can't hear him.
Sometimes he barks.
He may not.
Here, puppy.
They may not think he exists.
That sound was Verbal sniffing the microphone. If you're listening to the podcast,
that was a dog.
You're welcome.
Or it was just Shannon putting his nose to the mic. You will never know.
I don't even remember what we're doing here tonight.
I don't either. I know. No. Okay. So we have a list. We do know what we're doing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So that's what we've been doing.
Yeah. Which
is, for me, working on the show. I spent more time working on the show than kicking around last week, and I love it. It's a labor of love. I just like tinkering around with stuff and checking out web pages and such.
Yes.
And if you want to help us, you don't have to give us money. Like, share, comment.
And if you know of something cool going on or something we should know about in East Tennessee, whether it be an event, a political upheaval, whatever it is, you can tell us.
Absolutely.
Because we have email addresses?
We do. We have all kinds of email addresses now.
And we're on Facebook. Of course.
If you have a message for either me or Bailey, you can write either one of us at either of our names at hometownjclive.com. So that's Bailey at hometownjclive.com or Shannon at hometownjclive.com. Send us your tips. Send us your ideas. We would love to hear from you.
Please, no dick pics.
No dick pics. Period.
No dick pics.
Now there's only one kind of email we're going to get.
I know. Mentioned. I just have to be clear now.
And it'll all come to me.
That's right. I mean, you're the bear?
I'm not, but I'm very popular in that culture.
See?
I feel pretty.
And my name is spelled Bailey. There are about a million ways to spell Bailey. So, just to be clear.
Yeah, but all kinds of ways to get in touch with us. We're trying to grow, but we're not going to grow too fast. We're going to have a good time along the way, and we're going to drink some beer, and we're going to be silly, and, well, come join us. Right, DJ Ray?
We're not going to be silly.
Oh, Kevin's back.
Hey, Kevin.
Kevin Parsons
Mr. Mayor.
us. Yeah, Mr. Mayor. He's the mayor of Mountain City in the chat room. Already I can tell we're going to go over a little bit in this episode tonight. So,
that's fine.
Welcome, Kevin. Good to have you back. Good to have you and DJ Ray both in the chat room.
Hey, Kevin, can I start calling you Mr. Manager?
Mr. Manager?
Mr. Manager. That'll be fun.
I imagine him like Ron Swanson.
Oh, I was thinking more Arrested Development.
Oh,
but I never watched Parks and Rec, so maybe I should.
Whatever works for you.
I like Amy Poehler, though.
I love Amy Poehler, and I got the Funko for Little Sebastian and Ron Swanson, but I'm teetering on the edge of Leslie Knope.
Well, Christmas is coming.
It's true.
Kevin asks, why is that? I assume he means, why do I want to call him Mr. Manager? Because I just said Mr. Mayor, which has a ring to it, and Mr. Manager was on Arrested Development.
Right, it was a TV show.
Yeah, and someone was Mr. Manager. Well,
it's a lot of money in the banana stand.
There's always money in the banana stand.
Let's look at what we shared on the Facebook page
Yeah.
over the last week. We'll burn through this so we can talk about fun stuff.
Yes, I like it.
Let's see. Starting the Friday after the last episode was First Friday, downtown Johnson City. I went by for just a minute. Saw the coolest thing. They had the downtown merchants. In fact, I was downtown on Thursday at Holy Taco talking to the folks there, and they were like, "We've got to we have to make a scarecrow for tomorrow. What are we going to do? I don't know." And so they're throwing around ideas for scarecrows. And then, I guess just after First Friday, I went down to Sabores. And I'm walking. I'm sorry. The point is, there are photos of all of the scarecrows on the hometown Facebook page. Just scroll back a little bit, and you'll see a bunch of all the entries in the scarecrow contest. So I'm walking down Main Street, heading to Sabores, which is right across from Holy Taco. And as I walk to Holy Taco, there is a great scarecrow that looks like Pennywise the Clown from It. Right, I mean, leaning right up against Holy Taco, and I'm like, that's brilliant. That's the great one. And suddenly I hear, Voodoo. Hey, Voodoo. Down here. Voodoo. And me, I'm stupid. So I'm just looking around like this, and I see my buddy Eric Room, one of the co-owners of Energy Fitness, and I go over and start talking to him, and he just rolls his eyes at me because I've done it again. He put a speaker in the sewer grate. There was a balloon. Sorry, I didn't say there was a balloon tied to the sewer grate, and he had put a speaker down in the sewer grate.
Yeah.
And he was talking to people as they walked by from the sewer.
Wow.
I thought it's brilliant.
Yeah, no, that is brilliant. I would not. I'd probably be that person who just pretended like I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't.
I just didn't. It didn't
I
register.
would engage.
I heard Eric's voice, and I knew immediately who it was. It was like if I heard your voice coming out of a sewer. I'm like, Bailey, you in the sewer again?
There are raccoons down there that are really cute. Do you remember when we had the sewer raccoon downtown?
I do, but I never got a peek at any of the action that went on around it. Although I think we have a ceiling raccoon back here in the mansion.
We have multiple ceiling raccoons. I saw them last night.
Yeah, they dance and sing right above my bed.
Yep.
That's a whole nother thing. But the winner of the Scarecrow contest was Willow Tree. They made just the cutest witch with
which
the
is
hat.
Still out, I think.
Yeah, a lot of them are still down there, and it was just adorable.
I saw the Energy Fitness one, not the Pennywise, but the one hanging.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, that's a little creepy.
That's a sense of humor. But you can still see them downtown, walk up and down the street, all kinds of fun. What else?
Let's see. Yeah.
We posted an article. My buddy Mason is a writer for the Roanoke Times. And after a certain amount of time, he'll take his favorite articles that he's written and he puts them on his Medium page. Both of us are fans of Medium. That's instead of a blog, I now write kind of fictional stuff on Medium for fun. Sometimes it seems true, and sometimes it doesn't. I chronicled my heart attack and stuff on there.
Yeah.
Which was...
Remember that.
I stopped. I just got to a point where I'm like, nobody wants to read that, and I don't want to write it.
Perfect.
But Mason wrote an article about... It was Appalachian Musicians After Trump was the name of it. And it was how has the Trump social influence worked its way into mountain music. And he did not go to traditional Americana artists. He went to... our friend Paul Ravenwood, the mountain doom
Black
metal artist. He went to a few other regional artists that you recognized another one that was on the list, didn't you?
Oh, I recognized Daniel Cooper, who he is a musician, but he also I think has worked with other artists. And it's sort of talking about how Appalachian folk music has really become a very popular thing, but a lot of times people who haven't grown up here, I hate to use this term, but sort of culturally, appropriate it without knowing, like they just assume the stereotypes of Appalachia, which is, we're all
Right.
yokels with missing teeth, like I have, and because I'm from Appalachia, but
Me too.
but yeah, the stereotypes of being a Trump supporter, first of all, or a Republican at least, I should say, and just different things that sort of cast us in a negative light that, like...
And they're using that negative stereotype as part of the presentation, as part of their appropriation.
Yeah, ish.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
no... sorry, I didn't know...
I'm generalizing,
yeah.
and I hate generalizing, but there is it takes part of that uneducated inference.
Well, and I was thinking, I read the article earlier, and I was thinking of a really good band that I love, and I know you like, is the Dead South. And I was thinking about them, is that I really like the Dead South. They play really awesome sort of outlaw bluegrass. They were just in Asheville last month, I think, or a few weeks ago.
I really wish I could have gone, but I was out of town.
Oh, yeah, it was September. But I did have to start thinking about it because they're from Canada.
Right.
They are not Appalachians. And it is a funny thing, is thinking about it in terms of cultural appropriation, because it hasn't occurred to me to think of it that way.
Right. And I'm not saying... I think that's why I found this article, and I'm not taking a side. You can take a side.
I'm not taking a side.
I just thought the article was worth reading, so
Yeah.
I shared it to let folks read it and kind of, mull it over, think about it.
Yeah.
If there wasn't for cultural appropriation, we wouldn't have rock and roll.
Right. Yeah.
We wouldn't have the heavy metal music that I love.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have the music of Santana and Madonna.
Yeah.
Largely.
Well, it is one of those things, is that I am super proud of being Appalachian. This is a cool part of the country that I think doesn't get enough credit. So, and I'm very proud of our music, but I do have to remember, I'm like you, I'm not taking a side. I think it's really interesting, because Appalachian music stemmed from Irish and Scottish music traditions. So it's not like,
Well, that's it. I think personally, using the word appropriation might be a bit harsh, in that all music influences all other music. You can't listen to something, you can't watch something, you can't read something without being influenced by the style of it. And if there's something about that style you like, that's what creates a genre. That's what creates horror movies as opposed to romance movies. Somebody liked the scary part of something that they pulled from some other place.
And I think I generally agree with that. I definitely, as an artist, and I know, everything you do is built on something else. If it isn't, either you're a genius visionary who is some sort of wunderkind,
right,
or your art is terrible. I mean, let's just face it.
I think that's a fair statement.
But it is funny. Like, it was talking about Mumford and Sons, like, sort of climbing to fame using...
And they're English, right?
They're English. And they were using the banjo, and then they dropped it in 2015 to become, I guess, a different kind of band. And it is a very good article. You should read it if you love Appalachia, if you love Appalachian music of any kind. You should definitely go read it.
And Mason,
it's a thinker.
Mason's a great guy, and he loves music. In fact, some of my favorite metal bands, he's the metalhead that turned me on to him. He would give me entire mixes occasionally, and I was like, I would just find these bands that I would be thrilled with. So his taste is not just limited to metal. He likes a wide variety. His taste in music is really excellent.
Can I tell you who I've been listening to this week?
Who's that?
A lot? Tennessee Ernie Ford.
Oh, right on. Yeah. I love Tennessee Ernie Ford. I grew up with that.
Yeah, who's from Bristol, Virginia.
Yeah.
Which is also part of East Tennessee.
I was a kid. I got to meet Tennessee Ernie Ford.
Oh, that was cool.
Yep. He was passing through.
Tennessee Ernie Ford.
And I got to say hi to him. He talked to my dad for a bit.
He was on I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
A few episodes.
Yeah. He was a regular on TV.
Yeah, but he he was, just to be, for people who may not know the area, Bristol, Virginia is actually the same city as Bristol, Tennessee. Well,
it's a different city.
It's a different city.
It's the same geographic location. I mean,
right.
It's two cities that are butted up against the state
that
line.
are both called Bristol.
Right. Because
why
they
not?
kind of work together.
I don't know enough about it, but Bristol, so that's how it counts.
Right.
As being on this show.
Yeah, this isn't hometown Bristol.
This isn't hometown Bristol.
We may get to that another day.
Yeah, when we should go down there one day.
Yeah,
do hometown Bristol.
There's a lot of stuff to do down on State Street in Bristol. Lots of stuff, and I've got a friend that would be glad to be our guide, and maybe we could do it from Studio Brew. But yeah, check out that article. It's on the hometown site. Again, scroll back.
It is very interesting.
A little bit. We released the Miracle episode audio podcast. I just thought it was worth mentioning again.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, it really was a miracle episode. I'm so glad.
I'm really proud of our podcast because despite our shoestring budget, I think our podcasts sound pretty good. I mean, the stuff in Johnson City Brewing was a little hot, and I cleaned it up as best I could. It sounded better on the audio podcast than it did on the YouTube. But I'm very proud with the sound we're getting out of it. We're actually in stereo. If you're listening to me in the podcast, you already know that I'm on the left channel.
And I'm on the right channel, I guess?
I think that's how it works, yeah. So we actually have some stereo separation. I just like stereo separation so much.
Oh, see, I hate it.
Oh, no.
Well, I hate it when I'm listening to, like, music.
Oh, yeah?
Because if your earbuds aren't working...
or
something.
Oh, that's true.
Like, because my car, I have one of those cassette tape adapters.
Yeah.
And one of the sides of my stereo doesn't work, and I can always tell when Spotify has put me on a stereo song, because I'm like, I'm just getting the background vocals.
I've been there. I would have a little cassette tape you had to stick in your cassette player, and only half of it would work. I know exactly what you mean.
But in general, it's awesome.
Well, if you're listening to the podcast, if you have any thoughts on do you like the stereo, do you not like the stereo,
and we're gonna keep doing
it's possible for me to add a center channel. I can actually fake a center channel and make it seem like there's a microphone in the middle that has both of us to kind of balance it out if you have a mono system and it's not picking it up. But just let me know. Leave a comment, send us an email, Facebook page, wherever you want to do it.
So I think it's funny. You said you haven't checked the iTunes.
I haven't checked the iTunes.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
The stats on the iTunes I have not looked.
See, I don't think you should. I think you should leave it a mystery.
Just leave it.
What if that way we can pretend like
we have
it's
millions
like
of
massively popular.
Sure. All right.
Don't look at it.
I'm not going to look at the iTunes. Well, eventually I won't be able to stand it anymore.
That's true.
But I'll tell you what, I'll not check the iTunes until someone mentions it to me.
Perfect.
When someone who listens to the audio podcast says, "I'll listen to your audio podcast," I'm going to run straight to the iTunes and see if anybody else is listening.
It'll just be like the one. Yeah, it'll just be the one person. But you said people are listening on SoundCloud.
Yeah, there's been regular listenership, and a lot of it is people that seem to browse SoundCloud.
Oh, that is interesting.
I thought that was really interesting because I'll put on my personal SoundCloud, I have Big Daddy Voodoo on SoundCloud. People just browse, and I've got a few monologues that I put up there. I just did them for fun. I had no purpose for them other than I just wanted to read these monologues. People just keep liking them, and I don't know where they're coming from. I haven't linked them since the day I put them up.
The only thing I have an account on SoundCloud, and I can't even remember my thing, but I did after I won't get too political here, but after the Trump one, I did you know that song Hitler has only got one ball.
Yep.
I did it with the names of people in Trump's administration and
awesome.
Put it on there. And then my friend did one, and we got a fair number of likes. If I think about it later, I'll share it.
Sure, why not?
Or I'll put it on or I'll put it on Patreon.
Yeah, put it on the Patreon.
So you can hear me singing.
People have to work for it.
That's right. You can't just. Well, unfortunately, the one guy or our one Patreon supporter currently is the guy who did the other version. So I'm not sure how. So this is, you all gotta pay.
We'll figure it out somehow.
Muna.
We would really appreciate it.
Please. Oh, I know. You said we wouldn't mention Patreon. Not here. I was.
Happens.
Doing.
Totally.
I
said natural. I wouldn't mention Patreon.
That's true. I never.
You get to
made
plug it
such
for the
promise.
rest of the show. Big change downtown. First, do you know how First Friday came about?
I do not know.
First Friday, I was at one of the first ones. First Friday started when Dick Nelson wanted to have art openings.
Yes.
And so, his art gallery was bringing in people, but he thought it could be bigger, so they started closing down the street, and coincided some street stuff with the art shows that he had the first Friday of every month. And so that grew into First Friday.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Dick Nelson, there wouldn't be a First Friday.
Yeah.
Or it would have been different.
Yeah.
So Dick has been in the same place. Oh gosh, I wish I could remember how long. Was it 13 years, something like that? Anyhow, he started Ladybug Gallery up on, or at least as far as I know, up on Watauga, on the way.
Yeah.
At the top of the hill there on Watauga, near the intersection of State of Franklin. Yeah, Watauga and State of Franklin. There's a little brown building. It recently had a consignment shop in it. That was the original Ladybug Gallery. That's where I first knew where they were.
Yeah.
I got some stuff framed there. And then he moved downtown into Nelson's Fine Art.
Yeah.
And that became the icon.
Yeah.
And so now he's decided to scale it back. He's closed the gallery.
I didn't realize that part of it.
He's he's closed the gallery. He's taken the framing business and put it in the little space that was right behind the main space. And so his framing business is still going to be there, run by Stacy and him. And he's moved. In the last few years, they had opened a coffee bar in there, Dos Gatos, named after his two cats that had been there. They were
it used to be
very old cats.
Yeah. Well, it used to be Brew Plum.
Right. It was originally Brew Plum. Then I don't know if it was after, but his poor old cats passed away. Yeah. And it got renamed Dos Gatos, and the logo. Yeah. Those are his cats. Those cats were around that gallery.
Now they have two new cats.
Right, and they have new cats, and they've moved down the street. I wrote down where it was, 230 East Main. You'll recognize it if you go downtown, but boy, they've opened a first-class coffee shop.
I haven't been there yet, but I did see that they let animals in there if they're on leashes.
Yes, so me and Verbal are going to be regulars just because of that. They do the fancy coffee shop stuff. I mean, there are some fine coffee shops in town. I mean, other coffee shops off the top of my head.
Willow Tree.
Willow Tree is obviously one of the. It won this week. I'm sorry, I digress. But Willow Tree won Johnson City's best coffee bar and the Johnson City Press best of Johnson City. There's the one up here, Open Doors. Mm-hmm. Fantastic cup of coffee there. Acoustic Coffee House, which for a long time didn't even have coffee on the menu.
It depends on who you get.
Anyhow.
You get beer at the coffee house,
right.
Okay? You don't get coffee.
Anyhow, Dos Gatos opens up. They're doing, you get a beautiful cup of coffee,
it's like
customized terracotta.
Ooh,
they have their logo, terracotta on the side, handmade. And they'll paint little pictures in your foam.
They will.
Which
I've seen pictures.
I should learn to do that with the studio brew beer.
I know. Yeah. Let's crack one open right now.
I'll start making little.
That's right.
Little critters in it.
A little beer.
I'll put a corgi in my beer.
Oh, a little corgi. You know what the Japanese called corgi butts?
No.
Little peaches.
That's great.
I know. I don't know the Japanese word for peaches.
I don't want another dog, but I would take a corgi in a heartbeat. Verbal would have to deal with it.
Yeah. My mom has always had corgis.
Corgis are adorable. Those little butts. You just want
They're so smart too. Ish. Some of them are really smart.
They're smart-esque.
Some of them are super crazy smart, like Verbal, and then some of them. My mom's dog now, she has a corgi again, and sweet dog.
Bless its heart.
Barks so much. Like if you turn on the ceiling fan, just goes bonkers. And like her bark isn't even like a deep bark. It's like pierce your brain kind of.
It's
bark.
made to go straight to your spine,
right?
Bypass your ears.
It just makes you like it just fills you with rage from the first like little.
Shut
bark.
up!
Yeah, you're like, oh my god, cute dog.
I know it too
cute
well.
Dog, but what is?
Kevin mentions. First of all, he from our earlier conversation, he's more like the mayor on Family Guy. Mayor Adam West.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
He says he'd mentioned Mountain City's 9th annual Scarecrows on Main. Scarecrows on Main. That's awesome.
Sounds cool.
It was a hoot here in Johnson City. How many people do you usually have
That's what I was
participating in it in downtown Mountain City? Because that would be
that'd be cool.
that'd be kind of cool.
That'd be cool.
And
if we could go up there, we could record.
I do think we should go up to Mountain City just because
I agree.
Kevin has been so consistent with us and drop by so often.
We got a city in with the mayor.
Right. We'll just knock over. We'll just start knocking over pumpkins and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
It's okay. We know the mayor.
Yeah.
We own this town.
We'll come dressed as Yolandi Vista and Ninja.
That's
then.
right.
That's when we'll dress
That's
like.
right. I'll just wear basketball shorts and
right.
no shirt.
He'll get a bunch of prison tats.
I'll get more.
There are around 30 lampposts. So does that mean
wow.
30 scarecrows?
So each lamppost gets a scarecrow. That's amazing. Boy, that blows Johnson City out of the way. I think they had like a dozen.
I think we should do a Rick from Rick and Morty scarecrow.
That would be awesome.
And then a Morty from Rick and Morty scarecrow.
I would make it with like a remote control button that would throw up.
Yes.
Whenever
or
anybody
just
walked near,
belch.
it's like, I just think it would be hilarious to have green slime. Just anytime anybody stops and looks at
I just slowly
you
like
just hit the button. And, blah.
Oh my god.
This is why nobody lets me make scarecrows.
That's. Have you been told do not make any more scarecrows?
There have been issues. There have been. I was terrible. I was such a bad kid. I hope my dad's not watching this. I was a teenager, and Halloween was my favorite time of year because you could. When we said trick or treat, we meant pick one. The way we did it traditionally. Pick one, trick or treat. You didn't treat us. You got the trick, but we didn't always wait for that. There was this tree that hung out perfectly over the road, and it was a branch. And we climbed up on the branch, and we went out on it, and we made a scarecrow, and we waited for cars to come, and we would wait for the most expensive looking car we could make out in the dark, and just before they got there, whoo!
Oh my
we threw the scarecrow down in front of the car, and oh my gosh,
scaring the shit out of whoever
we
was
almost
in
caused
their
so
car.
many accidents,
Oh, I'm
and
sure.
people skidding and hit the brakes, and then we would climb higher. We climb way up the tree out of sight. And laugh.
Oh my god, Biller. Scarecrow Rick! That's solid.
That's good. I think we found Biller's Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Scarecrow Rick!
I like it. Oh,
Biller
man.
Rick! I'm actually dressed as Biller today. This
Oh.
is my Biller. This is my Halloween
Biller
Biller
costume.
costume. Yep.
Cool. That's cool.
Good to see you, Biller. He usually
Biller.
works on Thursday nights, so he's not often able to join us.
No, but he's here now.
I guess Dark Night of the Scarecrow. What else we got? Oh, I was so excited about this when I found it. October 20th is Bigfoot Day.
Now
at
I know
Bays
why you're
Mountain.
dressed like that. He's just getting ready for Bigfoot Day.
I'm gonna catch me a Bigfoot if it's gonna happen. I want it to be a Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
So at Bays Mountain Park, Kingsport, they're having in honor of the 50th anniversary of the Patterson Gimlin footage. I never can say Gimlin right.
Gimlin's a weird word.
That's that famous footage where it has the Bigfoot walking in the woods. You can see one arm ahead of the other. That was October 20th, 1967. They're going to feature research talks about Bigfoot from Mecro, which I tried to look up. I don't know. I assume that's a xenobiology group. An appearance by the legendary wrestler that I've never heard of, and actor Papa Stro Maestro. I respect his name. As
Papa
Big Daddy
Stro
Voodoo, I respect a Papa Stro Maestro. Kind of envy that name, actually. But it's going to be all weekend. The 20th, 21st, and 22nd. On the 22nd, they're having a Comic-Con at the Farmstead.
Like a Bigfoot Comic-Con?
They're calling it a Comic-Con. So maybe they're having some vendors and some geekiness there. So
Yeah, tabletop gaming.
I
We'll
may
be
not.
there.
I may not be able to resist going by a Bigfoot Day celebration at Bays Mountain. I haven't been to Bays Mountain in years, and I always had such a fun time there.
I love going to watch the wolves and the otters.
I would go watch the wolves, and I got sad.
Well, a lot of the wolves died.
It's nothing against Bays Mountain. I'm sure they did the best. It's just seeing pent up wolves. It's just I'm a dog wolf person, and I can't help it.
I think what makes me feel better about it is I think they can't be released.
Right, that's the
into
thing.
the
Wild isn't really an option for these wolves. You're right.
But I get it. But I did, one of the coolest things I've ever seen is seeing, I was there one time when I was like a teen, and they brought this whole deer out and chucked it over the thing, and I just got to watch you could hear the tendons snapping and it's so cool. So gross.
If you're listening to the podcast, I could reenact that in an audio for you, but I'm not. What else we got? Oh, I posted a video of Abby the Spoon Lady. Did you watch this?
Well, I've seen videos of her before, but I've watched that video too. She's coming to Willow Tree.
I'm so fascinated with her.
Oh, it's amazing.
I'm dying to see her at Willow Tree.
Speaking of Appalachian music, playing the spoons.
There are documentaries of her. Yeah. She lived in Portland, Texas, Louisiana. She's traveled around the country just learning. Yeah. She learned to play the spoons as a busker.
Yeah.
And she wasn't very good. But she found the better she got at the spoons, the more stunts she could do.
Yeah.
The more people
does
Yeah.
You should watch her.
She would watch YouTube videos to learn to play the spoons.
She is really, if you don't think you could be impressed by someone playing the spoons, go watch this lady.
Yeah, go to the Hometown Facebook page right now. I love the video that I put on there.
It's amazing. And the music is fantastic, too. Yeah. It's not just some lady, hitting spoons on things.
Very bluesy, very
Appalachian.
Yeah, it really is. So,
it's really good.
More on her later on. I'm sure when November 17th comes, they expect to sell out at Willow Tree, so you might want to be keeping an eye on that event.
See her if you can.
You'll find the link on the Facebook page.
Speaking of people at Willow Tree, now we're missing it tonight. This Mountain is playing tonight as it's one of their last shows as a band.
This Mountain is a fantastic band.
It is a marvelous band. One of the members used to live in the Techno Bohemian compound.
That's right. That's where I first met him. And he's like, hey, I got a new band. You want to come see our gig? Yep. I'm like, sure. And I went down to their first gig.
Yeah.
I was like, this is your first gig? You guys are awesome.
They are fabulous. I remember going to watch them at the Hideaway in college with a friend of mine. We'd always go, and it was always amazing. Great band, but it's over now.
Life changes.
Things happen. And
it's unavoidable. And when you have that many people together, eventually
things are going to happen.
People's lives move on, and so all you can do is enjoy it while you can.
But so I think this is they've got 2 more shows after tonight,
and they're
in town.
They're opening for Amethyst tonight, right?
I think so.
They're opening, and Amethyst is playing with them, and then. They become the Chest of Glass, and it's Amethyst and her Chest of Glass. Yeah. So they're playing all night.
Yeah.
It would be a great show to see.
I know, yeah.
We wanted to be here with you guys.
That's right.
And Scarecrow Rick.
Playing too. Yeah. Us and Scarecrow Rick. I wonder what Appalachian Rick would look like.
Appalachian Rick!
Yokel Rick. Yeah, I know. Where's my portal gun?
His portal gun's like a shotgun.
Yeah, that's right. But go see them. I think their last show is in December.
It's worth looking up their Facebook page and just keep an eye on it.
They're cool.
If you haven't seen them playing as Amethyst backup band, boy, you have not seen great local entertainment. Yeah. Amethyst is a rock star.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, she's world-class talent.
Yeah,
and them as her backing band knocks it over the top. I mean, just by herself, she's world-class. Yeah. But with them, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I really love that show.
Yes.
Speaking of shows, and this is the last of the things on the webpage, really. Our buddy Paul, first episode Paul, we've already talked about him once. He keeps popping up. He's a good guy. He's having a live show in Johnson City. Now, I can't say go to the event page and find it because it's not that kind of show. It's totally in line with everything else that he's done for Green Elder. He releases albums. He wants people who appreciate his music to see it. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be at Bagneux de Artade. And Bagneux de Artade is a private residence. He has regular shows there, usually electronica shows. But this one is a really great lineup. You'll find the poster for it on the Hometown Facebook page. Check it out. I mean, this is going to be really rare chance to see him doing the Green Elder stuff.
Yeah, because he really doesn't perform live.
Right, and this is his acoustic. So even when he does perform live, it's usually his Twilight Fauna stuff, the more doom metal, death metal stuff. This is Green Elder. This is Appalachian folk.
Kind of atmospheric.
Else. Yeah, it's his own thing. And
yeah, it's
I highly
fabulous.
recommend it.
Yeah.
But you'll have to go down to Hideaway and ask around, and you'll find somebody that'll tell you how to find Banyo Dara Todd. This weekend. I am out of town this weekend. I'm announcing for the Chattanooga Roller Girls.
Yeah.
In Chattanooga Saturday, so I'll probably leave here Friday morning and be back Sunday afternoon. So I will miss the whole weekend at Johnson City.
And for the first time in a while, I'm here.
Oh, right on.
So maybe I'll get to go somewhere.
Well, Conapalooza's this weekend.
Yes.
Believe it or not, I'm a bit of a geek. I love genre stuff. I love nerdy stuff. I run the East Tennessee Geeks Happy Fun Time page.
Yes.
Look it up on Facebook. Where I just put... My friends got sick of me constantly posting geeky stuff and entertainment stuff. So I created a page and just shared it with people. People seem to like it. But this weekend, Conapalooza is going to be at the Exit 7 Holiday Inn in Bristol, Virginia. That's the Virginia side. That's where Tinseltown is, and lots of food
sort of
and
more
stuff.
Near Abingdon, right?
Yeah, it's definitely on the way on the Abingdon side.
Yeah.
It's going to be just kind of a general sci-fi con.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times we've had a lot of anime cons around here about the Japanese culture and Japanese animation. I'm too old for that. I've hosted a lot of them. I've hosted a lot of costume contests, and I don't care what it is, I love hosting costume contests. Yeah. That is, you will not see me happier than geeking around with a bunch of people that have worked real hard on costumes. That is my greatest place to be. And unfortunately, I'm not working with Conapalooza. I'm going to go up there Friday night.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll get some photos and shoot a little video, and I'll have something to report back from at least the Friday night, the drag show's Friday night. So at least I'm staying for that, and then I have to leave in the morning. But it's got some adult programming overnight. They go late. They go up until the wee hours with some risque animation and some adult, definitely adult themed tracks. I think one of them is the No Pants Dance is that night. They also have an adult dance.
Have you ever heard of Donald Ducking?
Donald Ducking? You kids and your Disney. What's Donald Ducking?
Donald Ducking is when you put a shirt on but you don't have any pants.
Oh, I didn't know there was a name for it when I did it.
It's called Donald Ducking.
That's good to know. Next time I can go, guys, I'm Donald Ducking.
Look at me.
I mean, I won't be able to hear him over shouting, put your pants on, but I can tell him.
I'm not saying that Conapalooza has a Donald Ducking thing.
But you're not saying they don't.
But I'm not saying they don't. They could.
Right.
Don't go to anyone's hotel room, is all I'm saying. Unless you really...
I'm just saying it's a con.
It's a con.
A wise person. My first con I went to was in 1999. I went to Dragon Con. And the very first person I met there was dressed as a pirate. And I see him occasionally. He runs a really good fandom site. And he gave me the words of wisdom. If you can't get laid here, you can't get laid.
There you go, folks.
That was a different place.
There you go.
That's words of wisdom.
Cons.
I don't know. Coming up, see, I've left this one thing on the coming up list, but it's something that is just going to start controversy, and I'm going to start going off, and Bailey's going to start going off.
I'll start going off.
Let's save it. Let's save it for next week.
Yeah.
Let's just dig into that one next week a little bit.
I always thought we'd do it as an extra, but we can dig into it next week.
No, actually, that one might be an extra on its own. Yeah, let's do it as an extra. That way we can.
That way people can just choose to...
The sponsors can stay happy with us.
That's right. Our one sponsor. Well, our two sponsors. Our drink sponsor.
And our Patreon.
And our Patreon sponsor.
I just wanted to say that the last 3 Saturdays of October, Farmer's Daughter Corn Maze has the Barn and Balaam Circus. I just like the name. That's in Cedar Bluff, Virginia. It doesn't really matter. October 15, Johnson City Police Department having that party in the park.
Yep.
That's where you meet your local cops.
Yep.
Police officers.
Did you just correct yourself from cops to police officers?
Yes,
like
just in
cops
case.
was a negative.
In case the
like,
in case the local police officers are watching, yes, I did.
Yes,
If they're not, yeah, they're cops.
they're cops.
Heritage Days in Rogersville's coming up October 13th, 15th. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Oh, YP try booze and booze, like booze and booze. Friday, October 20th, are having an event at Capone's. Tickets are $10. It's a dress up thing. They're networking.
That's your best
thing.
bet at YP Try. You're gonna meet people.
Yeah, it's like networking.
It is. It's networking. You go there,
but it's not
to
like
meet people that.
But it's not
are
like
cool.
Suited up networking.
Yeah,
it's
and you're not selling anything.
Right. But you meet people.
But it's in case, if I ever need this, I can talk to you about this.
And don't let it's YP Try, which stands for Young Professionals Tri-Cities. Don't let the young throw you off.
I'm old and
there are
I hang
people
out with them.
Yeah, there are people there of all ages. Young at heart. Either be young in body or young in heart.
I'm just old.
And go.
I'm old in heart.
But, it's in Capone's The Vault. So not Capone's, but the Vault.
Around the side.
Yes.
Hopefully they'll have this. I like it when they have the side door open. I feel like I'm actually in a speakeasy of some kind.
I know.
Oh, this ties into what I'm going to be doing. 19th, actually the 20th and 20th, I'm going to be there. The Leaf Festival in Asheville is it's a great international music, and it's kind of a hippy dippy fest. There's like an entire pavilion, nothing but contra dancing all weekend, and the main stage has these amazing world class performers, and there's a little like bus that bands play on, and there are just so many types of music and dancing, and they have a bonfire that can be seen from Mars there, and then Unifier Theater performs after dark on Saturday night, and I've been helping Unifier Theater with their show this year. I've helped. It's been a great collaboration. I've worked with their director, she's like, these are the things we want to do.
Unifier.
It's a pun.
Took me a minute.
I love it. These are the things we want to do, and I was like, well, here's the story that would allow you to do that and still present this idea you wanted. And so they've worked really hard. I've been mixing the music here, and it's been a great collaboration between me and all the dancers as we get it tightened up and bring in the music here, let it out there, and that'll be the 20th of October at Lake Eden Arts Festival. Highly recommend it. Look it up at LakeEdenArtsFestival.org. I'll be there. I'll be wearing a top hat.
Find another top hat,
which really isn't that different from most other weekends. Yeah. October 25th, I thought of you. Poet laureate Charles Wright's going to be in Johnson City.
At ETSU, yeah.
He's going to be reading his poetry and doing interviews at ETSU.
That is pretty cool. And I will probably be there.
That sounds really cool.
It does sound very, very cool.
And then October 27th, I'll be hosting All Fired Up, Operation Warm. Kat talked about that in the early part of the interview last week. So you guys didn't get to see it, but it's very interesting. It's raising coats for children that need it, but they're not allowed to take coats anymore.
Right. Because they want to give quality new coats.
Right. They need more consistency. So now they're taking donations, and they're going to have games and music and prizes, and it's going to be at Johnson City Brewing's new brewing facility.
Yes.
So look that up on the Johnson City Brewing page. So it's really it's a good cause.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be there, and we'll get to have a lot of fun if you come and hang out.
And just, that reminds me, I don't have all the information. Tomorrow night, I believe, at Cardinal Park, there is a charity event where you pay and you get hits. You get to hit balls, I think.
Oh.
I tried to find it before we started. But look up, if you want to do something for charity, try to look it up. It's at Cardinal Park tomorrow.
So you look up probably on the Cardinals.
And that's where I looked, but I couldn't find it. But I was on a time crunch, so it's very possible.
Go see the Cardinals. Sports local baseball team.
Yeah.
I kind of like baseball. I'm not a fan of mini sports anymore. I used to be I went through the cycle of most sports, and
Yeah.
now I'm kind of free of them. But
eh.
I like a good baseball game occasionally. Check out the Cardinals.
I like
tell them we
going.
sent you.
I like going and pretending to watch, and then just occasionally going, "Oh wow!"
If they have the big beers, I'll watch all day.
I always like cheering the away team. I always like the underdogs.
Always making friends wherever you go.
I know. What can I say? You know.
Last thing on the list, Halloween haunts and happenings. I love Halloween haunts and happenings. I used to go to the original ones when I was in high school. In fact, my buddy and I set off a firework, which was actually an explosive device during one of those once, and they had to clear the park. But that was an accident. That was a long time ago. That was in the 80s.
So obviously the
statute of limitations has expired.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's important. For a lot of our stories, we keep a thing,
Right.
a list of things we can't talk about.
Yeah. The stuff that I'm still legally bound to.
Yeah.
Biller says they have good beer at Cardinal Park.
They do.
To
They
roll back a
carry
little bit.
Johnson City Brewing, some Johnson City Brewing
Oh,
beers.
that's right
Because
on.
there's a Cardinal Park beer. But I think it might be a summer seasonal.
Well, and Eric from
red
Johnson
ale.
City Brewing, he's a big baseball fan, so that makes sense.
Perfect.
Thanks, Miller.
Yes.
But Haunts and Happenings fun. It's just a
What is
chance. Jonesboro closes off the street. The kids can trick or treat up and down the street.
That's nice.
They have like little booths
Yeah.
and games, and it's a little fall festival kind of thing.
I like that.
At least it used to be. I don't know what the current incarnation
People are going to
is.
show up and be like, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah, it's like people dancing
Ooh,
with
awful.
snakes.
You know what I will say?
Town
I
Hall
just
again.
want to slip this in here before we end the show. I hate trunk or treating. Stop it.
I get it. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Although I have to give it to Johnson City, they would do the trunk or treat over on Walnut Street one
Yeah.
year. They closed off Walnut Street.
I remember I was there.
Oh, okay.
I think I went.
And I know the Roller Girls.
some
They decorated up
friends.
a car
Yeah.
with like Little City stuff all over
Yeah.
it, and all these different local organizations decorated their cars,
Yeah.
and it looked really spectacular with all these cars,
That's cool.
the trunks full of candy.
I
Lined
just
up
think
down the
if
street.
there's
But,
not a chance the kid's going to get kidnapped, then
yeah, I was always my mom would go, "Why don't you go down to that dark thicket? I think I saw somebody there."
there's probably someone's down there giving out candy.
I mean, you trying to get rid of me? No.
No, don't worry about it. You'll be fine.
And she's like taking money from some creepy person.
What's going on?
You're gonna go with him. You're gonna go live with him now. Never fell for it.
Not once. That's why he's still around today.
Somehow.
Somehow.
If I thought I'd lived this long, I would have taken better care of myself. True story. But I think that's all we got for you this week. Thank you for hanging out with us for Hometown East Tennessee. It's been about right at an hour. Probably went over a little bit, but it's
Yeah,
by
a
no
bit.
means our longest
No.
episode yet.
Nope. No.
Stick around. We're going to have to shut down for just a minute, and then I have to change the title of the YouTube live stream, and then we'll come back.
And just talk about.
We'll go
Whatever.
refresh our beers. We got a bucket over here. We're going to open our beers over this time, so we're all good.
Maybe we should wait till we get back on.
Yeah, that's right. We'll open our beers when we get back.
That's
That'll
right.
be even more fun.
That's right. You all
What's
can
that?
watch the
bucket of
horror.
foam.
The Eruption-y
Eruption-y.
beers.
DJ Ray.
It's a real word.
Oh, that's right. Biller points out tomorrow's Friday the 13th. So Friday the
Oh.
13th is in October tomorrow. Friday the 13th is like my lucky day.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
mom got married on Friday the 13th.
Nice. You know why it has such a bad connotation?
Why?
This is one of my historical geekeries. The Knights Templar were completely screwed over by the papal administration on Friday the 13th.
Oh.
An edict was issued for their death all at once. So thousands of people around the world were suddenly arrested, and their religious order was done away with.
So really, if you're Catholic, Friday the 13th is a good day?
I'm not one to judge.
I have no idea. I
I
don't know
just
how
know-
that works.
If you're not a Templar, you're all right.
Yeah, so just don't be a Templar.
I mean,
It's creepy anyway. Don't do it.
They did okay because the next week, they looked for them and they were gone, and so was their entire bank.
Freaky.
Their entire treasure of of gold and rare stuff was gone, and no one ever found it. We'll talk more about that on the mystery episode coming up on the 26th. Lots of mysteries. For now, this is Hometown East Tennessee. Stick around. We'll be back in just a second. If you're listening on the audio, check out our extra. I'll be uploading it in a couple days. We'll be back.
Bye.